So why would somebody want to hire a civilian defense lawyer instead of just staying with their military counsel? I think between the four of us, we've got like 73 years of legal experience. Most of that is in the military. And I think all four of us have served as trial defense counsel in some form or fashion. So we've been both the military detailed counsel on cases and have been practicing as civilian defense counsel. Why should somebody hire a civilian defense counsel instead of just sticking with their military defense counsel?
Right, and not only that, most of us have been prosecutors for years. And that gives us a perspective to most cases that a lot of defense attorneys don't have.
Right. So why a civilian defense counsel?
I would say, from the client's perspective, I think a big aspect is availability. TDS are great folks, but they are overburdened. They see a lot of cases. They see every Article 15, every administrative separation, and any client that walks through the door, and they're really overburdened a lot of the times. With us, with Civilian Defense Counsel, we're on the phone with them anytime they want, 24/7. I think that's a big thing for clients.
Right. I'll tell you, back my experience when I was a military defense counsel, I didn't have the freedom or luxury to necessarily defend every case the way that I wanted to, because I had institutional limits that prevented me from maybe doing some of the things that I can do liberally as a defense counsel, civilian defense counsel.
And part of that too is the TDS PCS timeline. So there are, chunks of the year, specifically in the summertime, when the TDS counsel are packing up their house and they're getting their families ready to move, and that's just part of life in the military. But when the new backfill arrives, then they have to unpack and in process and take their PTDY. And that whole time, typically the TDS offices are pretty undermanned. So they, are going to be focusing on their high priority clients and maybe not able to get back with everybody else. And those folks still need a competent, defense attorney.
And let's face it, even when they're dealing with their high priority clients and cases, the most experience that a trial defense counsel will have is 3 years probably, right? And that's if you're lucky. So the Army particularly, but other services too, have this system to where if you want to advance within the ranks, you need to go from job to job to job to get that broad base experience so you become promotable to major.
Right, and only 2 of those jobs are going to have anything to do with military justice, either as a prosecutor or as defense. So if they go to an ops law job or something that has nothing to do with the military justice system. So that experience is...
that experience isn't very beneficial when you're representing somebody.
I guess what I was trying to say, that experience is perishable.
Right.
It goes away, and then they might come back to justice later. But during all that time, we have been practicing criminal justice.
Let's not forget as well that it's a military assignment to serve in TDS. A lot of TDS are there voluntarily. They want to be there, but many are assigned there. We all want to do this. We all want to be in this position. We have not necessarily volunteered, but we're passionate about what we do. None of us has to do this for the money. We are here because, we genuinely feel that we want to be here.
I would think that most civilian defense counsel, whether it's our law office or another law office, are practicing because that's what they want to do, right? I mean, all of them could have stayed in the military, right? Made a career out of it. Or maybe some of them did stay in the military and make a career out of it. And this is just what they want to do. So when you're making a decision between military defense counsel only or augmenting your team with a civilian defense counsel, I think, almost in every instance, if you're facing loss of your career, confinement, loss of rank and reduction, I think you should always consider what is the benefit that you're going to gain from hiring a civilian defense counsel. And the bottom line for me is you're gaining experience, competence, and passion.
And the return on that investment can be, hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to millions of dollars of lost retirement. I mean, when you really break down how much loss of a rank at the senior ranks can mean over the course of a retirement, the numbers are really staggering. So it's an investment in yourself and in your future, to kind of nip these problems in the bud as early in the process as possible.
And if you're talking about your personal liberty, I mean, if there's a possibility that you could go to confinement, you should want to know that you are absolutely having the best person to represent you.
Right. And, about a court martial, it is impossible for a military detailed counsel, just impossible for them to get the experience that civilian defense counsel have. For me personally, I've tried to a jury over 100 cases, right? There's just not that opportunity in the military system to have that much litigation experience.
No, there's not. And most TDS counsel are not going to have tried homicide cases, sexual assault cases in the numbers and for the years that we have. That's the benefit we bring to the table.
It's just not possible in the system. And by the time they get those numbers, they're managing and they're no longer in the courtroom.
Right. Your senior experienced defense counsel, when they become majors and lieutenant colonels, that's all they do. They make sure that their counsel are properly trained. They get their evaluations. They have awards when they PCS. That they work with branch managers to have replacements coming in. By the time you do all that work, there's no real time left for these senior defense guys to actually litigate or represent or file rebuttals or advise clients.
And military defense counsel, at the end of the day, are still soldiers. And think about the number of distractions that any soldier has in any MOS, any assignment, any position on a daily basis. How often do you really get a chance to purely do your job on any given day, your assigned job, with all the other distractions that comes with just being a soldier in the United States Army?
Right. Times you have to go to the field, the mandatory training, the sharp training,
updating your med pros,
having to move office A to office B, your morning fun runs, the organizational days. You add all of that up, and you're right. You don't get a full week's worth of work out of any defense counsel.
On any given day, you might have an hour or two where you're purely able to dedicate to a particular case. Whereas with us, that is our number one priority all day long, your case.
Yeah, and let's not forget that CDS still has a chain of command. We don't. Our only interest is our client. We don't answer to anybody except our client.
It's true.
That is true. And at the very end of the day, military defense counsel are in the military, and whether they tell you this or not, they want to get promoted. They want to get it to the next rank. And who sits on those promotion boards? Those are not trial defense lawyers who are sitting on the promotion boards. It's SJAs, it's former SJAs, it's convening authorities. And if you're too much of a pain in the ass to one of those guys, they might remember it. They just might remember it. And that really kind of sometimes governs some trial defense counsel's attitude towards defense. And the thing that I find most troublesome about TDS, and I'm a TDS guy, right? I grew up in TDS, I love TDS, and there are great lawyers there. But the most troublesome is if I go in as a client, I don't get to choose who my lawyer is. I have absolutely no choice. I could be given the best lawyer, or I could be given a lawyer who's just there biding time, and I don't have a choice in the matter.
Nor would you know. You don't know. You don't. You have no personal relationship with a TDS attorney as you would with us.
Right, and they can't even advise you until certain points in the process, right? We can start advising as a civilian defense counsel the moment you pick up the phone and call us, right? We can create that relationship and start working the case. TDS has to wait until
There's adverse action.
there's an adverse action. Other than giving you your basic rights, they don't form an attorney-client relationship until that adverse action happens. And as a civilian defense counsel, we can do a lot of work before the adverse action is even born to try to prep the battlefield for what that adverse action will look like.
We can be proactive as opposed to being reactive.
Right. Well, I think that basically covers some of the advantages of hiring a civilian defense counsel. So thank you very much.